Hello, I'm Granville Emerson, and welcome to Lidline Sports with my co-host, Seattle sports enthusiast Renault Bean. We call him Pepe. What up, bro?
Hey, what be up?
Warriors have come out to play. Lead the series 2-0, both by blowout.
Yeah.
That's it?
Hey.
Now you see why Durant wanted to go to Golden State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, seems unfair.
Hey, it's just 2 games.
Just 2 games?
Just 2 games.
Okay, well, we'll get to the first 2 games later on in the program.
Holla.
To me, the Cavs' game plan is all wrong.
Definitely.
I don't know what they're thinking about, but we'll talk about that, and I'll explain that later on in the show. We'll talk NFL football.
What?
Seahawks have a new QB, not named Kaepernick. I'm disappointed with that. We'll review the Seahawks OTAs with a special focus on quarterback Russell Wilson.
All right.
Is Russ a top 5 QB?
Is he?
That is the question that we will try to answer on today's show. And one of your favorite topics we'll try to get to before the show's over, AEG withdraws from key arena remodel consideration. All that and more on today's Lidline Sports. I want to start with Derek Fisher.
Oh,
what in the world is going on with that dude?
Man, who knows? I mean, well, he was got in a car wreck. California Highway Patrol said his 2015 Cadillac had veered onto a freeway shoulder while approaching an interchange. Then he hit a concrete curb and a guardrail. And the car overturned and he came to rest on the roof. Very nice.
That's a scene out of a Hollywood movie.
Right. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt.
Yeah, he was also with his girlfriend, Gloria Govan. What's her name's ex-wife?
Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes.
I guess we'll have to pay another visit soon.
From Basketball Housewives. Or Basketball Wives. I don't watch it, but I think that's the title of the show. Somebody please correct me if we are wrong at lidlinesports@yahoo.com or comment on our Facebook page. Flipped his car on the 101 freeway. I've traveled that freeway many times.
Right.
I had my own accident on that freeway.
Oh, no.
Matter of fact, I was thinking about that the other day. Somebody just kind of like slammed on their brakes in front of me, and I rear-ended them, and it was my fault. But, oh, well, it happens.
Well, the Highway Patrol said that Fisher was drinking.
Yeah, he said he smelled alcohol in his breath, so they arrested him for a DUI. For the life of me, I don't know why these guys don't understand that it is 2017. You got 2 things at your disposal: a cell phone and Uber. Or I like to take Lyft.
Okay.
Or Lyft.
Lyft, Uber. You got options, basically.
Yeah, you got options. It doesn't make any sense to get a DUI. It doesn't make any sense to drive drunk. I mean, if you know, I think that might be your ego in the way, saying I'm not that drunk. Right?
Yeah. Because you know what? Those could be famous last words.
Absolutely. That's why it makes no sense for me to drive drunk now.
No.
Did you see the dash cam video of Tiger Woods?
I did.
That was incredible.
Yeah, he was lit. He was lit.
I don't know if he was lit up like a Christmas tree or lit up like a 4th of July spectacular fireworks show, but that dude, he couldn't walk, he couldn't barely talk, and if mixing your prescription drugs does that to you, ladies and gentlemen, take it from Renault Bean. Do not mix prescription drugs.
I mean, I covered that on the last show. Now,
I thought that was very good, by the way, too.
Thank you. In my case, there was absolutely no way I would have been able to operate a vehicle. I couldn't even get to a vehicle. When I got out of bed, I went straight to the floor. So I don't understand what kind of medicine or prescription drugs he was on, but the stuff that I took was just over the counter, and it jacked me up.
Yeah, it obviously will do that to you, but I am not convinced that Tiger was not drinking as well.
Right.
Because You clearly hear on the dash cam video and see the officer say, well, you smell like alcohol.
Right.
Right? But they spun that whole thing within 24 hours to him not being drunk, not zigzagging,
right,
swerving on the road like it was originally reported.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because when we reported last week, that's what you said. He was getting a swerve on.
That was
then all of a sudden he's found sleeping.
Yeah, that was the original report.
Right.
Yeah, well, found sleeping sounds a lot better than swerving all over the road.
Definitely.
But also, he had 2 flat tires and his front grill was all messed up, so he had been running over stuff and hitting stuff.
Yeah.
So how do you do all that and just end up on the side of the road asleep? But, I guess when you have a lot of money, you can spin your story the way you want to spin it. And they buried that story real quick.
Very quick.
But, hey, I hope Tiger gets help. I think he has a problem. They're trying to act like it's not a problem and that he just makes prescription drugs. But there was Ambien where he wrecked the car the first time. And now this ordeal. Switching to baseball. Last weekend was a Grand Slam weekend. 7 Grand Slams in one day.
Saturday. That was amazing. 7, like you said, 7 Grand Slams. Matt Adams, Ian Desmond, Kyle Schwarber, Travis Shaw, Chris Taylor, also Albert Pujols, and Mike Zunino capped it off with the 7th one. And plus, there was a no-hitter that day as well by the Miami Marlins, Edinson Volquez.
Great day for Major League Baseball.
Indeed.
Albert Pujols on his Grand Slam hit his 600th home run. I don't know why people are not talking about that.
Yeah, well, who knows?
Nobody really cares about the home run ball in baseball anymore since the steroid era, huh?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. That could very well be it.
Because the home run was the thing in baseball, but nowadays, not so much.
No.
So you have Albert Pujols, who has 600 home runs. I don't know how long Albert can still play or if he can get close to Hank Aaron. But what? He has an average like 30 home runs over the next 4 years or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know how long he's going to be able to play or what his contract, how long his contract. I know he had a very long 10-year contract with the Angels, but I don't know how many he's got left. He probably has about 4 years left, I imagine.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on that one. Mike Zunino, though. This is the same Mike Zunino that was hitting like 167 and got sent down to the minors?
Yes. He's been hot.
He's been hot. And the M's have been hot.
The M's have.
M's swept Tampa Bay. Yeah, swept the Tampa Bay Rays.
And you know what? They blew them out all 3 games.
Yeah, that was good to see. Yeah. So they are actually still in the wild card hunt.
Right. I mean, they're way behind as far as, listen.
Even though Pep gave them up for dead.
The Astros are running away and hiding in the West. I mean, they're 41-16 right now, and they're just blowing everybody out. But as far as the wild card is concerned, they're still right there. So, listen, I killed them when they were doing bad, so guess what? I'm going to praise them when they're doing good. How about that?
Way to be stand up, Pat.
Yeah.
Way to be stand up.
So, keep it up.
How about Hank Williams Jr. returning to Monday Night Football with that Rowdy Friend song?
Who cares? I don't care. Listen, when I turn on Monday Night Football, I'm probably turning it on after that's already gone off.
Do you know why they took that song off of Monday Night Football?
No.
They took it off because Hank Williams Jr. compared Obama to Hitler and said he was the enemy.
Oh, but it's okay now.
It's okay now.
Because Obama's gone.
Because Obama's not president, so it's okay to bring him back now.
All right.
Miss me with that nonsense.
Please.
That is Trump's America, where you can just, I don't know. That's another topic for another show, I guess. Your guy, your running back, Le'Veon Bell.
Yes.
He's
what?
He's in the social news.
What?
For inboxing an Instagram model, and she put him on blast.
Hey, does everybody know what an Instagram model is? Granville, tell us what an Instagram model is.
Hey, that's a chick that models on Instagram and gets famous for it.
Man.
So you see chicks
Karen,
all these selfies.
What is it? Karen Vi? Karen V is V-I. How do you pronounce that? That's her name.
Hey, that's her name.
Right. But she put him on blast, said she'll never understand. Now, this makes no sense. She'll never understand why dudes or athletes, especially those with girlfriends, even try. Really? You don't know why.
Karen V, whatever your name is. Pretty girls on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook get their inboxes stuffed all day long. That's just the
not
way
like
it
you
goes.
not expecting that. I mean, if you do that and you don't get inbox stuff, wouldn't you be a little upset?
I saw an ugly girl post the other day on Facebook that telling guys to please stay out of her Instagram, out of her Facebook.
What
box.
was her name?
I'm not like nobody like that, but I'm just saying, you don't even look good. Who's blowing you up?
Somebody else that don't look good.
Hey, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess. That's all I gotta say. So Karen V said, and I quote, "Didn't you just have a baby by a beautiful woman?" to Le'Veon Bell. You trying to get in my inbox? And Bell said, "I got 12 million reasons."
Bam. There it is. Question me no more.
She might not know that Le'Veon Bell is the highest paid running back in the NFL with a $12 million per year contract.
Yes.
But money can't buy you love. Right?
Oh. I tried.
Boom, boom. Anyway, switching to other NFL news, the Seahawks signed former Rams, Broncos quarterback
Browns,
Austin Davis.
Who?
Austin Davis.
He with 13 touchdowns, 12 picks. Mm-hmm.
Why not Kaepernick?
You know what? I don't think that the Seahawks ever planned to sign him. I think, now, I could be wrong, but this is just my theory, that they were just trying to help the guy. I mean, because, or either that, maybe Kaepernick asked them to help him. Why? Because, well, he knows that the Seahawks like him. The players have supported him. So why not say, hey, can you guys give me a hand here? Just give me like a fake tryout and put out that, I'm not a backup, I'm a starter. Because that's what Pete Carroll said. Pete Carroll said, hey, he's a starter in this league, and we already have one.
I got a couple different things on my mind. That could be true.
Right.
My question is, Pete Carroll's motto, they got it on the scoreboard,
I know where you're going.
On the practice field.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say?
Always compete.
Always compete. And he's on record in his last interview that I heard talking about this Seahawks team is probably the most competitive and has the most competition at every position.
Blah, blah, blah.
Not a quarterback.
No.
So, Pep, why would you not? If there was a scenario that came to you where you could get an NFL starting quarterback at backup money.
Well, can you get him at backup money? Because I think money probably is the issue. However, maybe they might not want to put Kaepernick out like that.
Well, Kaepernick was not asking for more than $4 million, so that's backup quarterback money.
Okay.
But
that's
he
what
could
we
not.
know.
He could not have been asking for more than $4 million. If he was asking for starter money, that's $10 million.
Right.
Okay. So he wasn't asking for that.
Well,
so he actually tweeted out that him and the Seahawks weren't that far away.
Okay.
So you know what that means to me? that you were right because they made him an offer.
Right.
So if they're not far away, they had to make him an offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're right. They made him an offer. He didn't accept the offer. He did what I said to do, and that is reject the first offer and wait.
Right.
And so they went and played this game where Spike released that he had signed, and then a friend of Pete Carroll released that he had not signed.
Right.
Okay? And now they go and sign Austin Davis. Now, for those of you who don't know, it's not like the NBA where they sign him to a contract and it's guaranteed they can cut Austin Davis before training camp.
Oh, definitely.
Right? So that's not guaranteed. They may even eventually sign Colin Kaepernick. This may be a negotiation ploy for him.
Could be, yes.
Could be. But Kaepernick is playing the game that you didn't play or want to play, that I thought that he should, but looking on it now, maybe not. Maybe he should have accepted the Seahawks offer if that's what he really wanted to do, if he really wanted to play.
Right.
Since he says, I really wanted to be with the Seahawks.
Right.
Okay? And so to me, they are both wrong. Okay?
I can see that, for sure.
Kaepernick's wrong for not accepting their offer, and they're wrong
For lowballing.
for lowballing them. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay? And so it may come back to haunt them, right? God forbid Russell Wilson gets hurt.
Right.
Right? So your best case scenario is you have your starting quarterback, and then you have a guy capable of being your starting quarterback. In case something happens, you still go forward, and you're still able to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Like the Pittsburgh Steelers when Bradshaw took over for Jefferson Street Joe Gilliam.
Right.
Like Miami when Bob Greasy got hurt.
Yeah. And they had Earl Morrall.
Earl Morrall took over
right.
for him. We're going back, folks, but
We're going back, y'all.
that is the history of the NFL.
It is.
And that's why you have more than just a serviceable backup quarterback.
Hey, George Blanda played until he was, what, almost 50. He was the kicker and backup quarterback. You know?
Yeah, for the Raiders.
Right.
Yeah.
Raiders.
Yeah, so anyway, that we'll have to keep an eye on Colin Kaepernick. And I want to officially state that my NFL boycott will not happen because Colin Kaepernick had an opportunity to sign with a team.
Right.
Okay?
And also, I got to call out the Giants owner, the Maras,
Yeah.
saying that if the Seahawks signed Kaepernick, that there would be some backlash. Okay, where's the backlash for Josh Brown, a player that you employed who was a known wife-beater abuser? Please explain that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of hypocrisy going on right now in the NFL behind this whole blackballing of Colin Kaepernick. But even so, like I said, he had the opportunity to accept the contract from the Seattle Seahawks, but he didn't. And I don't know, like I said last time, if that is more his agent or him, but we'll see. To OTAs, Earl's back.
Yeah.
Earl was back
right.
running around at full speed during OTAs, the same guy that was distraught and said he was going to retire at the end of the last season.
Yeah.
He's back. Tyler Lockett, he was there. His progress is slower than Earl's.
Well, his injury was pretty catastrophic.
Pretty gruesome.
Man.
Cam Chancellor is still recovering from his off-season shoulder surgery. They're going to have to find some money for him, too.
Yes.
That may be a reason why they're lowballing Kaepernick.
Oh, yes. Good point.
Pete said the locker room is great.
Well, of course he's going to say that.
After the story that came out.
So that means something wrong in the locker room. Because what the parents say, oh, the kids are great. And they're in their backseat fighting all the time. You know? Shoot.
Well, Pete he's always Mr. Optimistic, and so he's not going to tell you if the locker room is bad or not.
Of course not.
I just say, regardless, who cares what the locker room is? All that matters to me is what they do when they get out on the field.
Right.
Because there's always going to be jealousy in the locker room. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
And there's always going to be favoritism in the locker room.
Listen,
That's
you get
just
60
the way it
different
is.
53 different personalities.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, some going to get along, others aren't. That's just the way life is. You don't get along with everybody at work, do you?
No.
I mean, you might, while you're at work, cooperate.
Yeah, you act like you're getting along. You're fronting at work. Yeah.
Right, but once you get away from the job and you see them out in the street, either you say something or you don't. That's up to you.
That is up to you.
Right.
So you see him in the street, you be like, hey, give the head nod.
Right. If you want to do that.
Well, we also found out at OTAs what they want in terms of a starting lineup in the offensive line. The offensive line is the biggest question going into the 2017 season. It is the area where the Seahawks spend the least amount of money, and the area where they spent the most amount of money the year they won the Super Bowl.
Right, and they're going to be, and that area will be scrutinized like nobody's business.
So far in OTAs, starting, they had the basketball player, George Fant. At left tackle. Mm-hmm. They say that you won't even be able to recognize him now because he's bulked up and buffed up. And he's big and strong and quick. And
all right.
They're expecting him to be a dominant lineman. And they got your guy, Luke Jokel, at left guard.
Why you got to be my guy?
I don't know. They got him at left guard. And they say that that's supposedly the best position for him.
Okay. That
he plays better at left guard than he does at left tackle.
Okay.
And so they've got him there. They've got Justin Britt at center.
Good. That's where he needs to be.
He'll probably be all-pro caliber center. And they got Mark Glowinski at right guard. And they got Jermaine Ifedi at right tackle.
Does he get a desk this year?
Ifedi?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's his second year, and they drafted him number 1 in the draft, so I think it's about his time to try to push for some Pro Bowl consideration.
Okay.
Right? To get drafted that high?
That would be nice.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though, Pep.
Okay.
You got to think that their line's going to be better than last year, right?
It has to be.
Just on GP, right?
It has to be.
I would like to see them stick with these dudes and quit changing the freaking lineup.
Yes. Quit with the Dr. Frankenstein experiments.
Yeah.
And just put them out there.
Let them gel.
Right.
Right? If someone doesn't get injured, what have you, let them gel.
Well, guys get tired, so another guy comes in. But, get some kind of rotation going.
Yeah, I mean,
consistency.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in terms of, how we go into training camp.
Oh, yeah.
And the line is changing like every other game.
Yeah.
Every other practice, what have you.
Yeah, cut that out.
Yeah, cut that out. Let these dudes play together, right? Let them play together through the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Don't change the offensive line if they're not injured during the preseason.
Right.
Let them play together, right?
Let them.
Yeah, let them develop some continuity.
And let Russell have some confidence in them.
Yeah, that's what he needs.
I mean, your quarterback's back there. He's got to be confident that his offensive line is going to hold up for him so he can pick apart the defense.
Yeah. Big boy Eddie Lacy going to the running backs. He made his weight for his weigh-in to get his money. His money is tied to
we all know that.
Everybody
in America that follows football knows that.
The weight clause. So he made his weight, and they're looking forward to him doing big things. But Thomas Rawls says he is not conceding the number 1 running back to Eddie Lacy. And he came to OTAs ready to play.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So Rawls and Lacy, 1-2 punch, the big Punisher Lacy. Does Rawls understand now that He doesn't need to be a Punisher?
No. I mean, I hope he understands that because he definitely does not.
Because he won't last the whole season.
No. He's too small.
Yeah.
And they crush him.
Yeah. I like the way that he runs, but it seemed to me sometimes he was trying to prove that he was the next beast mode.
Right, and there is no such thing.
Right.
They need to stop that. Even Lacey, I don't want him to try to come here and be beast too. You just be Lacey, man. Well, just do your thing.
Well, Lacey's always been a Punisher. That's
but
his deal. He's
to that extent, there's no running back that's like that.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, to that extent.
Well, Rawls' problem was he could juke somebody, but he would juke somebody and then the next dude turn into him and try to run him over.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Precisely.
Or he has the opportunity to get out of bounds and he doesn't get out of bounds. He tries to blow up the DB. I'm like, come on, man. And so, last year he got hurt because everybody got hurt. Like, everybody in the offensive backfield got hurt last year.
Yes.
There's not one person
that
didn't get hurt because of their offensive line was so freaking weak. They cut Troymaine Pope, a running back who everyone liked. But I guess this guy we got from San Francisco 49ers, Mike Davis, outplayed him in the first few days of OTAs, and so they cut him. So now they're left with him, CJ Procise,
I like
and
him. That's
Alex
one guy
Collins.
I really like. I don't like Collins, but I do like Procise.
And the rookie Carson Davis.
Don't know too much about him except for his attributes at college, Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, one of those.
Yeah, we'll try to figure that out. We'll be right back after this quick break. We'll break down Russell Wilson. Is he a top 5 quarterback? Right after this.
Ready to go right back?
Yep. Hello, I'm Granville Emerson, along with Renault Pepe Bean. Welcome to Lidline Sports.
What?
Russell Wilson. Pep, is he a top 5 quarterback?
He is not.
He is not? How is he not a top 5 quarterback?
Brady, Rodgers, Ryan, Roethlisberger, Breeze. Those are my top 5.
Those are your top 5?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well. Pro Football Focus has Tom Brady, number 1. Matt Ryan, number 2. Atlanta Falcons. Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts. Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers. And Drew Brees, the New Orleans Saints. You got Russell Wilson at number 6. You got a problem with that list?
I do.
What's the problem?
Andrew Luck. He don't belong up there.
Why not?
Andrew Luck, what's he done? Really?
I don't know, but
listen, people say, "Oh, this stat, that stat." Yeah, you know what? He garners all his stats because his team is always behind, and he's got to throw like crazy. The Indianapolis Colts, they're not very good. They haven't been very good since his first year when they went, or second year when they went to the playoffs and got blown out, and he threw for like 3 or 4 interceptions. The guy, listen, he's a good quarterback, but he is not an elite quarterback. If you're talking top 5, then you're telling me that's an elite quarterback, which he is not.
So you're taking him out of that top 5, and you're putting in the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger?
Yeah, he's better than him by far. Still. Please.
Ben,
Big Ben is a top 5 still.
He's still a top 5?
And I'll tell you what, there's a couple of guys on their heels. Matthew Stafford.
His 2016 overall grade is a 78.5.
Please. Eye test, man.
The eye test. Forget what the numbers say?
Yeah, eye test, bro. What was their record and how far did they go? Yeah, okay, thank you.
Well, you know you got to have dudes around you, right?
Absolutely.
So, Roethlisberger, 78.5. I don't know. Russell Wilson, 85.9. Drew Brees, 87.4. Those two are really close. I would put Russell Wilson number 5 and Brees number 6. I agree with you about Roethlisberger and Andrew Luck. I want you to know that. I was just messing with you.
Of course.
But I agree. I agree. I agree. Roethlisberger, when he's healthy, Okay, he gets hurt too much for me.
For me too.
All right,
He gets hurt. He's my guy.
He gets hurt too much for me, but I would definitely put him above Andrew Luck. I just think that for whatever reason, people want Andrew Luck to be good. Like they had him like in the top 5 coming out of college. Like he was the next greatest thing, and he hasn't panned out. He hasn't done anything. And so I agree with you on that. I think
I'll take Matthew Stafford over him right now.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Over Andrew Luck? Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, Stafford, he's got more to work with than Andrew Luck. Detroit's got a great offensive line for one thing.
Matthew Stafford has led Detroit to comebacks in every single game, except for like 1 or 2 last year.
Yeah, but they haven't gone anywhere though.
No, they lost in the playoffs to the Seahawks, but still, he's better than Andrew Luck. I'll take him over Andrew Luck.
Okay. Well, Russell Wilson, last year, his quarterback rating was 92.6, which dropped precipitously.
Yes.
From 2015 when his rating was 110.1.
Well, like I mentioned last week, the Seahawks scored 13 points or less in 5 games. That certainly is not going to help your rating. At all.
Did you know? I didn't know this that he had this great of a year. And I guess I did know this, but just after last year just clouded the whole thing.
Right.
Because he didn't really look good at all.
No,
a lot of it had to do with injuries, right?
Definitely.
A lot of it had to do with that weak offensive line. I said before, as I watched him play, he had digressed to a quarterback that was not even interested in reading the defense, but, trying to go to his primary, whoever he decided that this was who he was going to throw to, he would throw to that particular receiver.
I wish it was Graham more often.
Well, it wasn't. And so he went from, actually threw for more yardage last year. He threw for 4,219 yards, 64.7 completion percentage. So that
because they were playing from behind a lot.
Yeah, and he had 11 interceptions, which is his highest interception total.
I think he had 5 in one game, or 4 against the Packers.
That was during the playoffs.
No, they didn't play the Packers in the playoffs.
I'm talking that 4 interception game was the year he threw the 4 interceptions and we came back and beat the Packers.
No.
Do you remember that game? At CenturyLink, he threw 4 picks. And we were losing like 28.
That's not the game I'm talking about. I'm talking about the game.
He threw 4 picks again
at Lambeau last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They got bombed, 38-10, 13, something like that. I got some Wisconsin friends that will probably let me know.
Yeah, well, I might have washed that out of my memory.
You did.
I do remember the 4 picks he threw with the playoff game.
Well, that was here, but yeah.
But he threw for 34 touchdowns in 2015. It's a lot of TDs.
It is.
So looking forward to seeing how Russell plays this year. He says that he's hired a full-time trainer.
Okay.
And he's taking care of his nutrition and looking at that. Pete Carroll says that he's never seen his arm strength better.
Oh.
His speed has returned. So there's no lingering results from his knee injury and ankle injury of last year.
Right.
And so we're looking forward to seeing how Russell progresses and looking to see if his newborn will have any effect on his career. Him and Sierra had a baby.
Yes, we know.
April 28th, Sienna. And so now they got...
Named after the Toyota, huh?
It's spelled with an S.
Oh. So it's the Toyota.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
I thought it was spelled with a C.
No.
Oh, okay. I guess. So I don't know if they knew there was a Toyota or not, or if they named it after a Toyota, but the baby's name is Sienna.
Got you.
Okay?
All right.
Her brother's name is Future. Named him after his daddy.
Whatever.
Baby Future. So we'll see how well Russell Wilson deals with All in the Family. Having a newborn. He says newborn is keeping him up at night, having him wake up even earlier than he normally wakes up.
Wake up. I thought he had no time to sleep.
He says he's even getting less sleep since he's already and always had no time to sleep. So I don't know. That's the Russell Wilson story. I just want the dude to make good decisions with the football.
Please.
And
Jimmy Graham.
well, Jimmy Graham is in the final year of his contract.
Yes.
So I would imagine that they have a couple of different reasons to get the ball to Jimmy Graham.
Right.
Right? Either to make him more marketable or to actually make our offense work better, which I thought was the reason they got him in the first place.
That's what everybody thought.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I've heard some terrible excuses. Well, Russell's only 5'11", blah, blah, you can't see. Well, that's funny because Jimmy Graham played at New Orleans, and who was his quarterback again? Drew Brees. And how tall is he? Okay.
They're about the same size.
Yeah,
Okay?
cut that out, please.
Well, I always say it just boils down to him having the opposite line.
Absolutely.
And not having to, run around and try to make throws and having an offensive coordinator. I think a lot of it had to do with the old coordinator too, which was a lot of Richard Sherman's frustration.
Yes.
Darrell Bevell.
Yes.
Both of us are down on Darrell Bevell.
Yeah, we've talked about him ad nauseum, so I'm done with that.
I just wish that he would move the pocket for Russell. He's a great quarterback that throws on the run very well. He's pretty accurate on the run. A lot of quarterbacks can't throw on the run going left or right. He can go either direction and throw on the run. And so I would hope that they recognize the best way to use Russell Wilson.
All right.
Now,
Yeah.
this is funny to me because you called it out on last week's show.
Yes.
And said that Tristan Thompson would get caught up in the Kardashian curse.
And he has. Oh, man. Well, I can name some guys that have been caught up in case, for folks that have a short memory. Let me help you.
On the Kardashian curse?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Reggie Bush. Miles Austin.
Who's that?
Exactly. Derek Ward. Chris Humphries.
Who do they date? What Kardashians did they date?
Oh, man, I'm not going into all that.
I know Reggie went with Kim.
Right. Some went with Kim, some had Chloe. Okay, let's just leave it at that. All right. Matt Kemp,
I'm trying to figure out why all these dudes are passing around the Kardashians.
Rashad McCants.
Rashad McCants, the number one pick in the 3-on-3?
Man, yes. Lamar Odom.
We all know that. We all know how that went down.
Yeah, James Harden. Odell Beckham. I mean, they say Odell Beckham because he had a terrible game, worst game of his playoff career when he started messing around with Chloe. So, and a couple of side notes: Chandler Parsons and Jordan Clarkson, and of course Bruce Jenner turned into a woman.
Yeah.
So, Kardashian curse. That's a real thing, man.
Tristan Thompson, he went 0 for 3.
He went 0 for Oakland. I mean, did he even get on the plane?
I don't know. Well, that was a brief rundown by Pep on the Kardashian curse, currently affecting Tristan Thompson. See if he can shake it off. You're listening to Lidline Sports with Granville Emerson and my partner, Renault Pepe Bean.
Holla at your boy.
The NBA Finals are finally here and in full effect.
2-0.
Game 1, the Cleveland Cavaliers were defenseless by the Bay.
Yes. Warriors put it on them, beat them by 24. And it was lackluster at first. They had their own issues, the Warriors. And in Game 2, well, I'll stick with Game 1 for now, but KD was just marvelous.
I don't understand Cleveland's defensive philosophy.
They apparently don't understand it either because it's not working.
In Game 1, they were leaving the ball to guard three-point shooters.
Right. And what is the first thing you do?
The first rule of basketball is stop the ball.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, how many dunks did Durant have?
Plenty.
They were guarding three-point shooters and letting dudes dunk. I'm like, what kind of basketball is this?
Yeah. So I thought game 2 would be somewhat of an adjustment.
And then they turned the ball over left and right. I mean, they had 20 turnovers to Golden State's 4 turnovers.
Right.
So that's a 5-to-1 turnover ratio.
Yes, it is. For you math whiz.
You're not going to beat people turning the ball over at a 5-to-1 turnover ratio.
No.
The Durantula struck the Cavs in game 1 with 38 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists.
Yes.
And Chef Curry was cooking.
Yes, he was.
28 points and 10 assists.
Nothing like home cooking at home, brother.
I think that what the first game showed us was why Kevin Durant wanted to go to Golden State.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. But we're seeing something we didn't realize we would actually see from him. I mean, we all knew that his offensive prowess is top notch. You agree with that?
Yeah.
But right now, he's playing grade A defense. He's showing how hungry he is. He's the only one out there, basically out of the regulars for Cleveland and for the Warriors, that doesn't have a ring.
Yeah.
So he's showing how hungry he is because he's blocking shots, he's getting rebounds, he's bringing the ball up, and he's not turning the ball over, and he's hitting shots.
Yeah, he's playing like...
well, right now he's the best player in the series.
Well, yeah. He would be the MVP if it ended after 2 games, that's for sure. Steph Curry opens the floor up for him. You can't double-team Durant.
No.
Leave the rest of those shooters open. And so you've got to have somebody that's able to guard him and deny him the basketball at the same time and be able to guard him one-on-one once he catches the basketball.
And if Klay Thompson hits shots, you don't have you basically have no shot to beat them.
In game 2, LeBron looked exhausted. Kyrie was a no-show.
Yeah.
Where's the Cavs' grit and grime that they had last year? They're not showing any grit, no grime.
So
at
far,
all.
Not right now, they're not. But didn't they do this last year, too? The first 2 games, didn't they get...
they got blown out.
Because they got blown out in game 2, lost by 33.
Yeah.
And then game 3, lo and behold, they win by 30. So are we going to see a repeat performance?
Yeah, the only difference that I see from this year to last year is Durant.
Yeah, and that's a huge difference.
It is a huge difference. So are they going to be able to slow down Durant?
Right.
And so here's my theory and my problem with Tyronn Lue, who says, we talked about this before, he said he had the hardest job of coaching in the NBA, which he doesn't. But now, Tyronn Lue, you need to do some coaching. All right?
Thank you.
The first 2 games reminded me of an NBA All-Star game.
Yes.
The Cavs weren't putting forth any effort on defense.
No. This is not the Eastern Conference anymore, gentlemen.
It did not look like an NBA Finals game.
No.
Because normally, those of you who follow the NBA, you know this as a fact. Historically, when you get to the NBA Finals, the game becomes a half-court game.
The running stops.
Right? There is no way that Cleveland can beat Golden State at their game.
No.
They cannot beat them at a full-court game. So all this pushing the ball down the floor, trying to get out on the fast break.
Playing right into the Warriors' hands.
Just giving them more possessions.
Yeah.
More possessions for the Warriors means more opportunities for them to shoot threes.
There it is.
And if they're shooting the 3 ball at a 40% clip like they're doing now,
game over.
That's game over. They cannot play that game.
No.
They've got to slow the game down.
Yes.
Reduce the number of offensive possessions for the Golden State Warriors. Make them use shot clock. Get them tired.
Hey, that's what the Celtics used to do with the Lakers, with Showtime Lakers. man, I don't know how many times they were grinding those games. Because once you get Showtime going, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
When the Lakers got to running around, they blew the Celtics out.
Yep.
But the next time, the Celtics make adjustments, and it's 89-87 instead of 129-104.
They have got to keep Durant and Curry in the 20s. No more of these, both of them getting 30 points in a game.
Right.
That 32, 28, that can't happen.
And open looks.
And then in game 2, Klay Thompson was 8 for 12 with 22 points. So they can't do that. They cannot get beat on the, and I said this last week, I'm like, how is Golden State going to rebound? Well, they obviously figured out a way. They out-rebounded Cleveland in game 2, 59-45.
Yes.
And Cleveland only shot 27% from 3. So you can't play that game.
No.
Right?
No, you cannot.
And expect to win. So let's look for what adjustments Tyronn Lue is going to make.
Yes.
With the Golden State Warriors. And I guarantee you they cannot beat the Warriors if they're going to play an up-tempo game.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. And LeBron is getting his. LeBron in game 2 had 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. That's a monster game.
It is. And lost by 29 or 19, whatever it was.
Yeah, they lost by a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
And what's up with Kyrie? Kyrie, he just killed the East.
Yeah, and he killed the Warriors last year. Destroyed them.
He hasn't done anything.
No.
Really? Some say
he's been out of control a lot too. I've noticed more so than usual.
Now today I heard that has a problem with his knee. I'm like, come on, let's not make excuses.
Please don't. Please don't. If you're out there trying to get down, don't use that as an excuse. This is the finals.
You weren't making an excuse during the last series against Toronto with the Pacers, so how are you going to make an excuse now? So, Uncle Drew, you need to re-show yourself, because in the last series you were doing whatever you wanted to do with the ball and getting buckets. In this series, you're just throwing up crap and trying to go one-on-one. So they're going to have to figure out how they're going to be able to get some fluidity
to their offense. You know what? They might have to go deeper into their bench. Like guys like Derek Williams and Channing Frye probably had to get a little bit more time, because this is the finals. There ain't no sense of keeping guys under wraps. I mean, if the guys out there you got going right now ain't working out, then you need to put some fresh blood in there and see what can happen.
Yeah, well, there was talk about them benching JR in favor of Shumpert, but I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But they definitely need...
and Darren Williams is showing that he's washed up.
Well, you said that too.
Yes.
You've been kind of right the last week, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look washed up. So things tend to get better for players when they get on their home court.
Home cooking.
So we'll see what happens in Game 3. That is the litmus test for the Cavs. They must win Game 3.
Yes.
That is a must win.
Definitely.
And we'll see what LeBron has in store for us. I'm sure he's going to come out with a spectacular game. I don't understand how, after having such a great first half in Game 2, he only took 6 shots in the second half.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
LeBron, you got to get up more FGAs than that, bruh, if you guys expect to win.
And we didn't mention Kevin Love. Kevin Love started off like gangbusters.
Yeah. He ended up with 28.
Yeah, but then when he got his shot blocked, he got timid.
Yeah, he did. Well, I said that when I posted on the Lidline Sports page that the series might hinge on who played better between him and Durant.
Well, there you go.
Now it's Ben Durant, so see if Love can pick it up when he gets to Cleveland. Are KD and Curry the best duo ever?
That's not what Van Gundy said. He said one of the best ever, and I understand what he means, but they took it way out of context. Doris Burke and everybody that interviewed KD said that they were the best ever, and that is not what he said.
Okay. Well, what's going down in the town? What's happening in the 206?
Oh, the 206.
AEG.
To me, it's a non-issue, man. Okay, goodbye. But you know what? They were going to go with Oak and Key Arena anyway. That's who they want. The city leaders, or mayor and council and all that, they're not fooling nobody. They've already bought out the Seattle Times. They've already endorsed Key Arena. So, I mean, really.
I think it's sad.
Definitely.
That the politicians in this city, in Seattle, don't understand that by their neglect, by their apathy, by their downright collusion to thwart Chris Hansen and the Soto Project, that they are losing money for the city.
Yes.
By not having a NBA and NHL team here in Seattle. You're losing the city money. And every day that you delay it, the cost to a new arena is going up.
Big time.
I remember when they built the Staples Center. It was projected at something like $80 million. By the time they finished, it was $200 million.
Right.
So it's called the time value of money, people. Money today is worth more than it is tomorrow.
Yes.
So we need to get this thing resolved as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, I don't have no confidence in that. It's been since 2011. They come up with these arena groups. 2011, they still got arena groups, man. Come on. You got a city like Detroit that's built an arena already for the Pistons. And the last time I checked, Detroit got neighborhoods that are bombed out, homes that are condemned, but they can build an arena.
Here's my thing. Just what you said is probably what the NBA is saying too.
Right.
You all don't even have your act together.
Heck no.
You don't even know what you're doing.
They definitely
So how can we have faith in you to bring a team?
And plus, there's a lame duck mayor.
Yeah.
He's on his way out, and he's already trying to implement. He's not leaving without a decision on a Key Arena or a Soto. I mean, really, you just need to go.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to leave some type of impact on the city.
Well, he already has. Listen, I'm not going to say, you know what, I don't want to get all slanderish, but he's already leaving on a bad note. And nothing he can do except bringing the Sonics back himself personally.
He's not alone. It's the city council too.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's the city council that is prohibiting Chris Hansen from going forward.
Right.
And Chris Hansen is the only entity in the fight that's willing to lose money to bring an NBA team to Seattle.
Right.
He is the only one that is bringing private financing to the table.
And he's even said he doesn't even have to own the team
outright. Then the other thing is, if they don't build the Soto Arena and they remodel Key Arena, how in the world? It's going to be 2 years. They're going to have to send everything that happens at Key Arena to either Everett or the Tacoma Dome.
Right.
So you'll be losing money there.
Thank you.
So
yeah, where's the Storm going to play?
Yeah, the Storm will be down at the Tacoma Dome or at Everett. Nobody will be playing in Seattle.
Nope.
They'll be having no big concerts in Seattle.
No, they will not.
Unless it's the summertime at Safeco. So, that's a whole convoluted mess where our knucklehead politicians...
Well, we know why, because the city owns that property.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that
folks,
is.
For the folks that don't live here,
that's the real deal, people.
That's the deal.
Thank you for listening to Lidline Sports. You can listen to Lidline Sports on Facebook, YouTube, and find us on Twitter at Lidline Sports. Join us again next week for more great sports talk radio on Lidline Sports. Sports as we see it from
just below our lid.
Okay, perfect.
That was a good show.